Well, you got that number for the people that can build this?
That's us.
The house part.
It's us.
Oh boy, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, we bought a Unimog.
It's here.
Whoa.
What do you think? Mattress in the back and a cooler? Call it a day.
Only if the mattress is damp.
Oh, it'll be damp.
All right. Yeah, let's do this thing.
Where do we start?
I have no idea.
Big spare tire right here. I think it's like 190 pounds or 200 pounds or something. I'm not sure. It's a lot. I wasn't going to be lifting it out of that box without a little help. But that's not too bad once you're rolling it. I mean, I could have lifted it with one hand. I just didn't want to impress anybody too much.
Now that the Mog is finally in the shop, the first thing that we are going to do is the Tern Overland windows and doors. And so with that, we're going to introduce you to our first build sponsor, Tern Overland. If you watched our Unicell build, you saw us use their Arctic Tern entry door, and we absolutely love that door. It has a security screen, triple deadbolt locking system. So for this build, we went to Tern, and they were gracious enough to become one of our build sponsors. That means that all of the windows, the entry door, the electrical hatch, the water receptacle, we have 2 exterior hatches, all of that will be Tern Overland. We're pretty eager to get them installed and tested out.
We received all the windows and the hatches and the door earlier in the summer. We kind of unboxed everything then to make sure there was no damage. Also, we were just really excited to see everything in person, especially the windows. We had never seen those before, just to see how they worked. They come with the built-in shade. Having a built-in blackout shade is going to be awesome. First thing we're going to do today is check and make sure the door fits in the cutout that's in the box. Now, we did send the specs over from Tern to Atkinson to cut it exactly to spec, so it should fit. Let's just see where we're at, and then we'll work from there.
The tricky part about this is making sure that we put the windows in the right spot. We have all of our cabinets sitting out in the tent, and you'll see that later on in the series. But we have to make sure that the windows are exactly in place for the overhead cabinets and the lower kitchen cabinets, the bed frame, all of that. If we get that wrong, it will be so bad.
Let's just prep, make sure it's right. We have our measurements of the cabinets, so we'll probably do some tape lines on the inside of the box to mark off the height. That'll give us a good idea, and then once we do that, we can probably kind of mark where we want to actually cut things, cross our fingers, and then hopefully cut everything correctly.
Luckily, the door is already cut out, so we don't have to do that, but it's still a nerve-wracking process anytime you're putting holes in the vehicle. So let's start measuring things, taping them off, and maybe we'll make some cuts today. We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, it's open.
Yeah, pull it out.
Slide that over there.
This is the moment of truth. Is the door the correct size? We used the specs from Tern. This was CNC'd into the composite panel, so it should be exact. It should be perfect. But, you know, things go awry sometimes. All right, let's try to put it in.
The bottom's got a rounded cut on it, which is part of the problem. It might just be the edges are round. Yeah, let me go.
Up to lock everything, and then there's the, yeah. Oh, don't crush my hand.
There you go. I'm ready to freaking glue this thing in right now.
This is amazing.
Stop. That's the first thing. Do not attempt to install before reading all instructions. So they have very thorough instructions for the installation of all of their products. So we installed this door last year on the Unicell, but it was a little different. There was already metal framing in place to screw the set screws into, which hold the door in place as the adhesive dries, because ultimately that's what really holds it in place. Since this is composite and the center is a high density foam, we're gonna have to put some wooden plugs in there to create set points that we can screw into. So accomplishing the same thing, we just gotta do an extra step. All right, we are gonna try to get some windows prepped and maybe even cut today. Savannah's looking at the instructions. What do you got there, Savannah?
These are the instructions for the windows. We also have the 2 cargo doors to do as well. We didn't get those in last night, so we're back outside. It's a little bit rainy, but that's okay because all of this is waterproof. The foam, the FRP, none of it's affected by water. So that's good for us. But this is super important that we read this because we've never installed any of the turn windows before, and definitely don't want to get that wrong. Now our walls are 2.5 inches thick, which is 64 millimeters, and that's just a little bit larger than the standard turn window frame. So we also had to get the expansion frame for the windows so that it'll span the whole thickness of our walls. I have to read this.
All right.
And then we'll see what we can do. Create a template for the hole out of cardboard. Use the inner window frame as your pattern and then test fit the cardboard over the window to ensure a good fit. Thicker one.
Other way, or I can spin the box.
Oh wow, this is my first time actually like seeing what this window looks like with the frame. This is a double pane window. I am like way too excited about having a double pane window, but this is gonna make such a huge difference for the insulation in that box. The box is already composite, and then having double pane windows. Okay, I can't tear it off. No.
got our center line here. And now we're figuring out if we want to put the window on it or maybe center between the two cabinets because it's pretty tight to the closet.
If you can see these lines, maybe. We have lines drawn in Sharpie. This is an overhead cabinet. Up here, we have our center line, center of the whole box.
Yep.
And then over here is a line for how far our closet goes out.
So we got it centered. The framing is about 1.5 inch overhang of this template. So it's really tight to the closet. So I'm thinking maybe skew it 1 inch or so to the right. It'll pretty much look center. It's gonna look center inside and it'll look pretty much center outside. We're interrupting this episode briefly to tell you about a new Patreon exclusive video series that's going to follow this build.
Patreon is our subscription only page, and for every episode of the build series, we'll be sitting down to watch and talk about all the different projects going on in the videos. So behind the scenes moments, more in-depth details. There's so much that goes into each one of these projects. There's no way that we could fit it all into one build episode. So that's why we're starting this commentary series, to give you a little bit more detail about what goes into each project.
And of course we did the other window first.
Yes.
As opposed to the one that was close to it. If it would have been a problem, we would have saw it and been able to move it when we were marking it. And I go, no, and I get the measuring tape out. I'm like, we're either not getting another window, or I don't know what we would have done.
And then Drew's freaking out, so I'm freaking out because Drew never freaks out.
I did
This
not.
is a Patreon exclusive available to all of our Patreons, $5 and up.
So we'll see you over on Patreon, but now back to the episode.
We're back in the shop this morning with the Mog, which is really nice because it's getting super cold outside. So we pull this thing in here whenever we can so that we can work and just be a little bit warmer. Very exciting day today. We are going to cut all of the windows into the camper box.
All right, so we went through and marked all the lines on the outside, and now we're gonna actually start drilling the holes from. We're gonna have to do it from both sides because the hole saw doesn't go deep enough. So I think we'll start on the outside and then go back from the inside. I would recommend a CNC machine if you have one, because this is gonna be a pain in the butt.
Yes.
But we didn't have all the windows planned out at the time of box construction. So unfortunately, here we are, and we gotta make it happen.
The thing that was really tripping us up with these walls is that they're 2.5 inches thick, and it's really hard to keep a drill bit or a hole saw straight going through that amount of material. It tends to wander even just a little bit, and then either the inside or the outside is a different size. So we really don't want that to happen. That is bad news. So marking the windows on the outside as well was really the only way to combat that. It was a really annoying process to remark them on the outside, but now we're sure that they're right and we can hole saw from the outside in, because that is really what's important, that the outside is the correct size, because that's where the seal is being made. All right, the actual holes are happening now, so wish us luck.
We're in the box. Checked everything. Alrighty, this is really exciting actually.
Big moment. This right here, on all the corners of the windows, we have the center point for our hole saw. Tern says that it's a 2.75 inch radius, which means the diameter is 5.5. So we had to get a 5.5 inch hole saw, and I marked the point where the drill bit of the hole saw needs to go into to cut the corner radius perfectly, hopefully. All right, that's my handiwork.
Amazing.
All right, let's get these holes cut.
Might be thinking, why aren't you using a corded power drill? It's not working. And then the other one I couldn't get the bit out of. So here we are with the hand drill. It's working well enough. Cord drill would be better. Oh well, here we go.
There it is. Another wall. Whew, that's thick.
Wow, that's how thick our wall is.
That's all insulation.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
All right, we did it. We got a window.
We have these little M4 fasteners, and that's what they say to use through the inside frame into the window. What I really love about the windows is that there is already an inset thread on the window for this to go into. In the past, when we've installed other brands of camper windows, you have to drill through the frame to make that hole. But for these ones, it already exists. So you know exactly where the frame should be lined up with the window, and that is incredibly helpful.
Got the first window in. Took longer than we hoped, but that's usually how it goes. It's the first time you're doing any process. They're within almost machine tolerance, so it's like not much margin for error. So it's pretty tough. They're challenging for sure. Dealing with the thick wall, it's really challenging that any level of angle you're off with a drill or a hole saw or a jigsaw, you're gonna see pretty dramatically on the other end. Whereas if you're just going through a single piece of fiberglass or like a 1/8 inch of sheet metal like you are on a van or something like that, even if you're holding one of those things at a slight angle, you're really not going to notice that. On here you got to be super aware of it. So going forward, we really just got to be extra careful. Doing this by hand, not using a CNC machine, we just got to take our time and try not to make any mistakes, or at least any big mistakes that can't easily be rectified. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and get through the next process here, and it should go a little better.
Yeah, onward. Oh, it's perfect.
Oh, third time. That's a relief.
Throughout this process, we've tried a few different methods to get a completely straight cut through this wall. We were getting so frustrated, and I think that my grandpa could see that. He helped us out and made this jig, kind of just bent this out of metal and gave us a really long drill bit. With the assumption the composite walls are straight up and down, which they pretty much are, you could put this onto the composite wall and then put the drill in here, and it would keep the drill bit straight as you drilled into the wall, which was really the biggest hurdle. We would be like this or like this and not even know it, and there'd be a slight difference between the inside and the outside.
Yeah, I mean, you say like this or like this, but it's really like this or like this, which you couldn't see.
It's so
right
subtle,
there,
yeah.
because it's such a thickness that this to that, which you probably didn't even see move, is a half an inch on the other side at least.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, your grandpa was around and he knew the solution because it was getting frustrating.
Yeah, thanks,
Yes.
Grandpa. We
Oh.
appreciate it. This is really cool. In all honesty, this is saving the project because now we can move along so much faster.
Whew, grandpa saves the day.
I'm so glad that we discovered this early on in the process and we didn't get to like the last window.
The big windows.
And then figure out that this works. It's still pretty soon in the process, so we'll be able to use this for all the other cuts.
Welcome to our magical mystery box of secrets and wonder. Thanks for stopping by there, bud.
These hatches get installed like the entry door does, which means that we have to also put those wooden plugs into the wall so that the set screws can hold it in place while the adhesive dries. So that is the next step for both of the hatches, is to drill out that hole, set the plug with the adhesive, and then let that dry. Whew, hatches.
Tell him no, 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 no. You've been trying to cater to all the needs. You've been feeling guilty for so long. Baby, they're not friends, they are enemies. Don't you tell them yes, tell them get lost. 'Cause every time you go and ask for help, they say sorry, but I'm busy. So you end up doing it yourself. Ooh, hold up, baby, don't take it. It ain't friendship if they just fake it. You don't need to put up with their bullshit. Tell them no, 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 no. Hold up, baby, don't stress it. It ain't worth it and you won't miss it. You don't need to put up with their bullshit. Tell them no, 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 no. They don't have respect for your boundaries. Girl, you hit too close to the edge now. Only thing they got is toxicity. Think you need a cleanse, feel it out. You got their backs, but they ain't got yours. You've done enough, but they still want more. You've been a good friend down to the core. Oh, hold up, baby, don't take it. It ain't friendship if they just fake it. You don't need to put up with their bullshit. Tell them no, 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 no. Hold up, baby, don't
Yeah.
Double pane.
Glazed acrylic.
Man, that's nice.
That is nice.
And they all have the 3 settings. 1, 2, you can hear it click, and 3.
Okay.
And the inside, that whole thing that attaches in here, has the screen that you can pull up and down, and it has the blackout blind. It also has this setting that's completely closed, like really tight, and then it has a secondary setting that's just for ventilation, where you put these latches into the channel, so it's just cracked, like
Smallest amount.
ever so slightly.
Okay. Very, very slight crack.
So there's actually a lot of settings on these windows, but it's nice because you can choose your own adventure. So that is completely shut. We've had the masks and the goggles on and off.
Over that. This is the look. I might just walk around like this now.
Yeah, it's high fashion.
So I just got off the ski lift.
Or Burning Man. Woo! Alright, that is it for episode 1 of the Build series. The very first episode is finished. It took a lifetime, and it took no time at all. I've lived 12 lives in this time. Trying to cut holes in this box. There were highs, there were lows. We laughed, we cried. It was a steep learning curve, but by the time we got to the very last window, it was perfect. We knew exactly what to do.
That's how these things usually go. Once you have a process, it's not so bad, but when you don't, it's brutal.
Yeah.
First few windows tough, very challenging, but the last few went pretty smooth. So we know how to do that going forward if we need to do it again.
I will say the jig that my grandpa made was a lifesaver. So thank you to him, because that was an incredible little tool to have. Very, very useful.
But we want to thank Turn Overland for sponsoring. We're super happy with how these windows are looking, and the door, and the hatches will be in soon.
The windows look so nice, not just on the box, but the construction, how they lock, how the inner frame screws into the window. We're really, really happy with the windows. Double pane, so excited for double pane. The hatches lock really nicely. Everything's keyed the same to the front door. Very, very happy with that. So huge thank you to Turn Overland. Episode 2 is also going to include the Turn Overland products, because we will be installing the hatches and the door. That is a whole process that we will show you. But before that happens, you probably saw we only put a few screws into each window. That's because we do have to take them out for the next step, which is painting the interior of the box. We wanted to get the windows cut so that we didn't waste paint and paint a bunch of spots that were going to get cut out anyway. So we do have to pop the windows out, sand, paint the interior, but you will see that all coming up in episode 2.
The holes are cut, super relieved, and we didn't mess it up.
We
it looks
did.
really good.
We
so
did, yes.
we can move forward. It's starting to look like an actual expedition camper, and that's super exciting. So we'll see you next week for some more progress.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you for episode 2.
Later.
It's tight enough, but how's my hat look?
You sound like Bane.
Doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you think. What matters is our plan. The Batman.